Hi, my name is Danielle, and I'm a fourth grade ELA and social studies teacher. Today, I will be talking about professional disposition of learners. I will go into detail about having high expectations for all of your students. I will also be talking about having respect for cultural and gender differences and different diversities, and being fair in the classroom. I will also talk about teachers' professional conduct and how it's important to reflect on our professional growth, and it's important to be honest in the classroom and as a professional. All right, so before going into as a first year teacher, what I would have told my first year self is to be open and to expect everything. A lot can happen your first year because getting a balance with your children about when to be firm in those days where you need to laugh is very hard. But luckily, I have developed that balance. Now, my first year, I only had that balance with one of my classrooms, and it took me a while to get it with my other children. But luckily, I no longer have that problem. What I do feel like the things to become a successful teacher is to always be open to learning different things. Every day you're going to learn something different. Every day technology is changing, curriculum is changing. My first year we were learning out of the Journeys books. Now we're learning through Gold Pathways. Everything is changing, but I do feel like to be a successful teacher, you have to understand that it's just like you're teaching your children, you're learning as well. It's important to take what they're doing and what you do as a teacher and put it together so you can have the best outcome that best serves your students. Now, how I uphold these in the classroom is I work with my children. I try to have the best solution as to what works best for them, and will also meet the standards that I am upholding for them as well. Now, as far as my ability to understand the cultural, gender, and differences and the learning differences, I teach at a Title One school. So I deal with children that come from one parent households, that sometimes also come from grandparents being the only people in the household. It's important to understand that children come from all different backgrounds. Now, with my girls and my boys in my class, I have always built a strong relationship with my girls because I come from an all girls family, and I feel like as a girl growing up, I had someone that was there for me. And I had an educator that was there for me as well, and I always wanted to have that and be that for my girls as well. Now, I'm also that same way with my boys, but what I have learned and what I have seen is boys are more open to opening up to maybe a male teacher that they trust, and that's perfectly fine. All I want as an educator is for my children to just feel safe in my classroom. With the learning differences, in my first year and even now, I'm still an inclusion teacher, meaning I teach the special education. It has been a huge eye opener for me because I'm learning about so much, and even to this day, some of my kids work better on computer programs such as Lexia or Freckle, and some of my kids need visual cues. Some of my children are learning letter sounds while some of my children are still learning about four-letter words. It is a very difference in different things. It is also important to have a great relationship with families as well. I try my best, and I always talk to my parents and I communicate with them. And when they need to communicate with me, I always try my best to respond as fast as possible, or when I can, as soon as possible, if I'm not in a meeting. I do feel like it's important to have open communication with families. Now, potential bias in teaching is very is something that can happen. You could do have some teachers that have favorites. It happens. I seen it happen when I was in high school. But it's important that you treat all your students the same. It's important that we love our kids and we want to see all of them grow. Also, when it comes to feedback, my children expect feedback from me, and I expect feedback from them. There's times when I would ask my children, well, what don't you understand, or what can I do to make it better? Or we'll try different things, and I'll ask them, well, did this help you? And some of them would tell me yes, and some of them would tell me, however I teach it worked best for them, and that's great. When I have observations from other people from the district or from my assistant principals or my principals or my coaches. I take what they say and I take it with a heart because I do understand that it's coming from a good place. I'm always open to criticism, constructive criticism, because I want to grow as a teacher. I do feel like it's important that if I'm growing as a teacher, I know my children in time will grow as well. I also feel like it's important that if your coach or your admin sees something that maybe you can improve in, I feel like it's important to at least try it. Now, it may not work for your children, but it's important to still try different things because maybe something that you weren't doing may work. And that's how it is with my other teachers as well, especially my other reading teacher. We bounce ideas off of each other, and some of the things that works for her kids may also work for mine. And some of the things that work for my kids may not work for her kids. But it's important that as an educator, we be open to different things, that we always try our best to grow and have professional conduct in the classroom and off of the classroom. We're not friends, we're not buddy. It's important to maintain a professional relationship in and out of the classroom at all times. Thank you for watching.